Hi YouTube. So today we have a race video. This past weekend was the tax day Omnium. It was my first road race in Idaho after the first road race of the season back in March in Arizona. So if you guys follow me on Instagram, which you should, you would have seen the stories that I posted in the past few days where I was giving updates on points and each of the stages and everything that was going on. But I'll summarize it real quick. Basically, since I moved to the US in January, my goal was to become as close to a professional cyclist in criterium racing as possible. And for that, I have to go through the USA cycling point system, meaning that I have to go from category 5 all the way up to 1, hopefully, and maybe pro. What that means is that I have to do a lot of races to get points to move up. So right now I'm category 4. I need 30 points to move to category 3. And at the start of this race, I have 13 points, which I got in that weekend in Arizona. You can watch the videos of those races on the channel. And so the way to get those points is to follow this kind of table that USA Cycling has online. I won't go through the whole thing, but we had a field of 23, 24 riders, which means that the first 7, I believe, would get points, starting with 8 points for first place and moving down to, I think, 8. And then it's like 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So I think 7 positions get points. There's 4 stages in this race: a time trial, a criterium, a road race, and the circuit race. The time trial was first. I got 9th place, which meant I didn't get any points, and I was 9th, obviously, in the general classification. Then the criterium the same day was canceled, so no points there. And then the road race on the second day, I got 12th, I believe, which moved me to 10th in the general classification. So we're going into this race, the circuit race, with no points, 10th in the general classification, and needing 7 points to move to category 3. So that means that I would need, for sure, a podium, and then hope for Omnium points to get those 7 points to move forward. Also, this hat is coming out officially in this video. Check out the link below and buy one to support the channel. So let's watch this race, see what happens, and then in the end, I'll tell you guys how the points situation went. So let's get into this. So 23 guys started. I know a few of these guys. Here's James in front of me, Zach on my left, guys that I train with here in Idaho. We had a neutral start until a little bit after that bridge that you can see over there. We're on the first of these 3 laps. Each lap climbs about 500 feet. This is the end of the climb on the first lap, so about a third of the lap is climbing. Starts getting a little spicy over here. The guys at the front are trying to drop as many people as possible. We're still all together. I'm just at the back trying to save as much energy as possible. So we turn right and go into the downhill. These blue guys that you can see here, where those 3 guys matching, they're the ones leading the general classification of the race. So we're a little bit into the downhill, about to hit the last climb of the course. I go to the front to give a little help, trying to stay safe and just as close to the front as possible, not going too hard. But as you can see here, there's this climb. It's about to finish, and the whole group is still together. I'm doing probably more watts than I would want, but I'm feeling okay, and I didn't go too hard in the previous days, so just trying to stay towards the front. At this point, I believe everyone is still together. We take this right turn onto the finish straight, which goes for a few miles. I'm sitting in 12th position and trying to hide from the wind as much as possible. Few attacks start going on. Everyone replies and stays together. So then it kind of calms down here. Everyone's just looking around, waiting for the next move to happen, because obviously no one wants to do the work. There's not a lot of teams. There's these guys in blue. I forget what their team is. And then there's St. Al's here with also 3 riders, but no team is doing any kind of teamwork. This guy on my right is the guy leading the general classification. Very strong mountain biker here in this weekend, is going to get a lot of points. We're about to come to the end of the first lap. Each lap was 12, 13 miles, I believe, 20 kilometers-ish. You see people throwing attacks. I don't know why people were attacking for the finish line on the first lap, but we still stayed together. There's a lot of strong guys behind and ahead of me, so it would be kind of hard to make something stick at this point. Here's the finish line. We're going pretty fast. Everyone regroups for the right turn, and then we again do the same course, jumping straight into that climb that we did on the first loop, which again is about 500 feet of climbing, which is just under 200 meters of climbing. This is not where I excel. I'm in total survival mode, hoping that I get over these climbs to get a chance at the sprint. Second lap in, everyone's still together, going really hard up this climb. Here, as you see on top, it kind of calms down a little bit in the sense that now it's 5%, and I think it almost flattens out. There's a gap created here, and the guy in front of me, Dave from St. Al's, literally brings me up to the front group all by himself, even when that guy attacks and gets past us. I say thank you, very grateful for his help, because I don't remember if he asked for help, but if he did, I obviously didn't pull around, and he kept pulling as hard and kind of just let me go with him, which I was very thankful for. Unfortunately, not long after that, the whole group comes right behind and catches us, and we're once again all together. Around the same time, a couple of guys attack off the front, as you see over here, and spoiler alert, they stay off the front. So these two guys go away. They get 30-40 seconds on us real quick. As you see on the map, right now we get to the top of the climb, and the motorcycle, the lead motorcycle guy is standing on that corner, and he tells us 40-something, I think it was 40-something seconds that he says. And at this point, we're all like, all right, there's not much we can do right now, but maybe if we work together, we're going to get there. The guys in blue have one of their team members there, so they are not going to do any work. Here you can see Payson behind me giving me the rock on. I appreciate that. Everyone that sees my little red blinking dot camera thing on the race, say hi, and I'll put it on the video. So here you see Payson coming to his teammate, making some game plans, planning what they're going to do to make either the race harder or not do any work, because they have the race leader in the breakaway, and there's no reason for them to do work. As you see here on the downhill, they go to the front and they slow down substantially. They're juniors. They were disqualified because they were not on junior gears. Something weird happened. They definitely worked hard for the positions that they got. Then here's Zach, my friend, goes and chases James right in front of him. The three of us train once, twice, sometimes 3 times a week together, so we know each other's riding style. James is pointing out the breakaway is about halfway into the last climb of the loop. So I'm sitting in 4th position behind him, feeling good, trying again to stay with the group, and then these two guys did what they probably planned they were going to do. They attack really hard up this hill. As you can see, I go over 800 watts and I can't even get close to them. I did not have the legs to put more power than that down on the pedals. That guy goes and bridges to them. Then this guy here on the Bianchi on my left gives me a wheel to follow, and I was very thankful for that. I was going really hard at this point. Somehow the group is still all together. And at this point, we all decide to start working together, which was really cool. We start rotating. I'm at the front here, as you can see, and then Dave comes through, James comes through, and then Zach comes through, and everyone just keeps rotating, and we do a really good job at cutting that gap now, because at this point we have 2 guys in the front breakaway, a second breakaway with 2 more guys, and then our big group. Here we turn to the finish line straight, that again is a few miles long, and you can see the 2 guys, Payson and his teammate, up there. Not long after this, not even a couple minutes, we catch them, and the whole group is back together again with those 2 guys still in that front breakaway. The pace is kept fairly high. There's a lot of yo-yoing with no one wanting to do work, because again, there's not a lot of teams here to take on those roles. The biggest not biggest, there's just 3 guys, but the strongest team in these blue guys, I forget what the name of the team is. They have no reason to do work because they have someone in the breakaway. In St. Al's, I think at this point they might have already dropped 1, if not 2 of their riders, so they also can't be of much help. At this point, we have a group of 12, 13, I believe, and 2 guys in the breakaway, so already like half a dozen guys were dropped as we go into the last lap and hit the climb one last time. Here I was basically just crossing my fingers hoping I get over the hill, because being a sprinter, I can only hope that we get to a sprint, and things were getting really dark over here. I was just following Zach's wheel because I know he can climb, and I know that if someone was going to get me to the top of these hills, was going to be him. At this point, my front camera ran out of space in the memory card, so we have back camera all the way to the end. I'll try to do a good job in helping state what happened. So we're about to get to the top of the hill for the last time. This big group is together. I forget how many of us, but actually to the top of this hill, 4 guys broke away. Those 2 guys in blue again, and they took 2 more people with them. So now again we have a first breakaway of 2 guys, second breakaway of 4 guys, and I'm in this group, which I was very happy about, because in this group everyone is willing to work together. These 2 guys that you can see right here, the day before, did the whole road race with me, rotating the whole time. So I knew they were going to help. There's a couple of juniors from the Birds team still here, and they were being helpful. The Utah guys that I didn't know were also working with us, and then here's James and then Zach ahead. And this is us getting to the top of the last kicker. As you see here, we're about to turn to the finish straight, and we keep rotating. So I'm at the front. Here comes James, then comes Zach, and everyone just keeps rotating really well, because we all want to catch the front 4 guys. At this point, we weren't sure that we were going to catch them, because they had quite an advantage on us, but or just a gap. Sorry, they had a big gap on us, but. We're going 47 kilometers an hour, 29 miles an hour. We're going pretty fast on a flat course. James just put a huge dig in for me. I think he told me to follow him, which with then the help of also a dig from Dave, we do catch those first 4 guys. And at this point, we're all together with only a breakaway of 2. So now we're fighting for 3rd position. I had to do a little bit of a sketchy move there to follow the first attack right before the finish. I'm in second wheel right now, and now it's kind of game over. I'm rested. I have the legs. I put in just over 1,000 watts. I go on a little bit of dirt, actually, around these 2 guys that were going for the sprint, and I'm able to snag 3rd place. Payson, they're a little bit upset, but he can climb, I can sprint. You know, that's the world we live in. So that's it. Came outside to finish this video because the weather's really nice, and so the rundown on the points. I needed 7 points to move up to category 3. I got 5 points from finishing 3rd in that race, and that moved me up to 7th place in the general classification, which gives me 1 point. So if you add those up, that's 6 points. I'm officially 1 point away from category 3, which hopefully Crit next week here in Boise will do. So follow along for that as I try to keep moving up. I want to finish just by saying thank you to the Patreons. I started a Patreon channel last week, and the goal of that is to have you guys being able to support me in this attempt of making this my full-time quote-unquote job, if you will, of racing bikes, and documenting the journey and sharing it with you guys. So if you are able to spare $5 a month to help out in the making of this channel, head on to my Patreon. If you're able to spare 10, you actually get a pretty cool t-shirt. Don't forget, we just released these hats today. Check out all the links below, and I'm gonna leave ahead a little thank you note for the Patreons of this week. So subscribe, which helps a lot, like, comment, all the good stuff, and I'll see you guys on the next video.